Just tell us more about what this report says. And obviously, it's people that we've mentioned there are working outdoors. They're presumably the most at risk.
Yes, outdoors and even indoors. So basically, the intensity and frequency of extreme heat events has risen sharply. That's what it's saying. And also what it adds is it's spreading to new regions and new seasons. That's important, you see. So it's no more just about during summer. It could be at some other times as well. That's very important. And then also, this one is complementing a recent ILO, the International Labour Organization report that said 2.4 billion workers globally are exposed to excessive heat now, resulting in nearly 23 million occupational injuries, which is a massive thing. That's why they're saying that we need to prepare. I was actually talking recently, it just coincides with someone, not this report hasn't addressed. Ranges, for example, wildlife ranges. What they were telling me is the heat wave and the wildfire, it's gutting them, the figures are staggering. So yes, what they're saying is now, we know this is happening. Now there have to be plans and policies at place. And what they're saying is it has to be tailored according to the regions. Where is this happening? And so on and so forth. But then the risk is how will particularly the poor countries manage, resources involved, and also quickly the feedback loop. For example, if you are trying to help those workers with some air conditioning, for instance, where is that air conditioning coming from? If you are ramping up your fossil fuel consumption, then you are further compounding the problem. So it's a massive challenge, yes, and it remains to be seen how do we deal with this.
Can you give us examples of what temperatures people are having to cope with and doing what kind of work? And are we seeing people still being forced to go out and work in these very high temperatures? We see huge numbers at the moment, don't we?
40 degrees, 50 degrees. We hear that. I mean, let's say 10, 20 years ago, 50 degrees, impossible. Now they're there, they're working. And what also is very important here to understand is it's just not about temperature. It's the humidity. So what happens is when you have humidity also going up along with the temperature, then our body cannot fight that temperature, that heat. The thing is, you see, we have a mechanism where we sweat. We can sweat and fight off the temperature rise. That's how we do it. But when humidity goes up, that means that the atmosphere has more moisture, more water already, so we cannot effectively sweat. That is the main thing. That's what's happening everywhere. And then also there are places, for example, where you'll have to wear thick layers of clothes to do those works. And then imagine you're already sweating like that. The clothes, the layer of clothes you have to wear, and then are exposed to, let's say, desert countries, or like I said, even wildlife ranges, for instance, they're saying, and oceans for that matter, fisheries, massively involved. And not to talk about even schools nowadays, for example, you see. So they are recommending that even for students, uniforms will need to be redesigned, rethought, and also shifts, working shifts, for example. When do you work? You'll have to rework your work schedules. So it's a massive thing,
Okay.
It remains to be seen because we're heading towards more warmer world.
Naveen Sakatkar, thank you very much indeed. Thank you.